Hello, guys, and welcome to Paintball Extravaganza 2021 here. Yes, it's not in person. It is a virtual extravaganza, and we are here to, introduce you to some companies and some products that normally you guys would hear all about when we do our Paintball Extravaganza show. But as I say, we're going to be doing it virtually. If you guys are new here, my name is Todd Ansich. Thank you very much for tuning in. What the heck is Behind the Bunker? We are a weekly paintball show that broadcasts live on Facebook and YouTube every Monday at 8. And then we translate that into a podcast. So if you guys want to listen to a podcast version of our show, if you have ADD and you click off and see cat videos and don't have the patience to sit through our show, download it as a podcast. And this show will be uploaded as a podcast tonight when we're done. So thank you very much. My name was Todd Ansich, as I mentioned. With me, as always, I have Joe Kimson. He is from Flaggers Paintball.
Greetings and thanks for tuning in to our annual Behind the Bunker Paintball Extravaganza show live from across North America.
Yeah. And then we have Josh Zuby Zabrikis.
Yes, sir. I'm excited again. Extravaganza, everybody's favorite. I even had some good food for dinner just in honor of Gavin's favorite subject. So.
Nice. And speaking of Garvin, people keep calling him Gavin, but it's Garvin Sharma from Turatech Industries. How are you, sir?
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Garvin Sharma from Turatech Industries, and I am so freaking excited about being here tonight. Paintball Extravaganza. The only thing I'm missing right now is some fried chicken, but that's okay. Let's get all fried tonight and see some new products and some great companies. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure you hit like and share so everybody knows Extravaganza is going on right now.
Absolutely. Normally, Joe, Josh, Gavin, myself, and even Matt, the producer, who's working remotely here, we usually get on an airplane and we have to travel to the States. But unfortunately, we weren't able to do that because, well, there was no event. We can't travel, but we're here anyways, and we're happy to be doing this. From Paintball Extravaganza, we have B. B, how are you?
Hello. You might hear Mike Paxton's voice in the background. That's okay. But I'm doing really good.
See, I thought that was
Montana.
I thought you were playing a Barry White record. I didn't know that was Mike Paxton.
He needs to cut an album. That would be great. Well, I'm excited to be a part of this. This is my team since 2005. I took a sabbatical from Paintball Extravaganza for a few years. Mike Paxton even worked for Paintball Extravaganza, I think as a security guard. How appropriate, right? But we hope to grow the paintball pie, and we want to make that bigger so everybody's slice is more satisfying. So let's do this.
Nice. And then we have Pev all the way from his Paintball Extravaganza headquarters. How are you, sir?
Great. Here from Washington, D.C. Glad to be here. Glad to see everybody. Glad to be online. Yeah. It's been a while. It's last time I saw a lot of people was Extravaganza in Memphis. So it's good to be back. And
I have to say, and everyone else can chime in on this, but that event in Memphis, we all left with super optimism and high hopes. Everyone had really good thoughts on how good the industry was. People were finally feeling the industry on an uptick. Everything was super awesome, and it was just optimism all around. We won't talk about what happened a month later, but when the pandemic started. But it was probably one of the best shows we've had. It was. Yeah, Gavin, that was your...
sang that song from the Lego movie the entire way home.
But everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everybody.
Thank you for singing it much
That's
better than I can.
That's my theme song, y'all.
That's very good.
So, yeah, I mean, it was good. I mean, Joe and Josh and I have been to maybe more than Gavin has, but we all walked away from that one thinking it was pretty awesome. So
It was.
Yeah,
I felt pretty good leaving. I left there. I was thinking, all right, there's a lot of stuff going on, but we're going to start thinking about the next event. Had a lot of great ideas. Learned a lot from the other vendors, and we collected a lot of information. And then we did the the awards where we recognized everybody for the length of service, and that sparked a lot of excitement because a lot of people knew that their 10 years coming up pretty soon where they can collect their pin, and then you got guys like you guys, Todd and Joe, who's has a good history. So you have some of the oldest pins out there now to recognize. So it was the whole thing was going in the right direction, obviously, and we felt really excited. And I'm glad now that we're thinking about 2022 and trying to get things back on track again, because I can tell, even just from my business alone, the interest for paintball has definitely had a nice swing back to it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just if you guys are wondering what's going on with the audio, Matt's just turning it up right now. I think you guys can hear us a little better.
I can see him now. He probably looks identical to what happened when we were in Memphis.
Matt, our producer, does not like B. She doesn't take direction well, and
but I love him. I love him more than all of you.
He's the angriest man
Matt's
in paintball.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, he's the angriest man in paintball, but he does a good job. So we have to take his direction. So, Matt, wherever you are,
Matt.
my friend. Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you.
We wouldn't have got to our 500th episode if it wasn't for him. Let me tell you.
I'm surprised we all lived too, because I figured he would stab all of us at some point. But anyway, let's move
scary.
on. Paintball extravaganza.
That's the difference with Canada and the United States. In Canada, you would worry about someone stabbing you, but in America, worry about someone shooting us, right? I mean, that's the difference.
That is true.
We love our guns.
Yes, we do.
Jeez.
And paintball
Mike,
guns.
Mike could show you if you want.
Nice.
Speaking of the last extravaganza, you guys were talking about the awards and stuff. Something else that was new was the feel of camaraderie. We took all the Canadian dealers and put them in a room and had a great conversation.
Just a conversation?
It was just a conversation. A couple people brought 2x4s. But no, it was good. We were able to sit down as an industry, a Canadian, the Canadian portion, because in Canada things are slightly different than in the States, and just how we operate with our sales taxes and stuff. And we kind of all gave each other tips and hints of what worked and what doesn't work at our field. And we walked away having some great resources there. And it's been a while since Joe and I have taken tech courses there, because we've been going to Paintball Extravaganza for years, and we've taken a lot of those tech courses. So we're busy doing the media side, unfortunately, now, so we don't get a chance to do that. But that was the first thing we sort of did to kind of better ourselves, and it felt great. I think it was a great, a great resource for us. But yeah, so I don't know where I was going with that, but there I am.
You did a nice job.
So we have videos tonight, ladies and gentlemen, from a lot of different manufacturers. We have videos from Plan, Eclipse, and Exalt, DLX, Field One, Dye, Core, Ninja, and a couple more. So stay tuned. And what we're going to do tonight is, normally Paintball Extravaganza is geared, how would you guys say, geared towards the industry, whether you're a field shop or store owner. And then we do our show where we kind of take snippets of what we see at the show and kind of give it to the people that are more of the players, not the industry. So tonight I kind of want to do a bit of a hybrid. We want to introduce some of the companies to everybody and some of their products in a short manner, but also show you a couple products as well. So it's the best of both worlds. So whether you're a player or an industry, person, you should be able to get something out of tonight for sure. Is that a good way to sum up what Extravaganza is?
It is. I think it's kind of neat. And Paintball Extravaganza usually happens the last week of February, typically. And many of the manufacturers, like you said, have their new products released. Many of them are at times on the water. So by the time you get back to your shop, and a couple weeks pass, products land. And often by the beginning of the season, the new products that you have seen and debuted at Paintball Extravaganza are ready to hit, the paintball fields and hit the retail stores or wherever you're buying your products. So it's kind of a neat. So it's a dealer, typically a dealer and field only show, but because of social media, these new products are unveiled almost immediately to the world. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a creating spot for a lot of new ideas for paintball as well. I mean, there's so many smart people who've been in the industry for both a long time and a short time. And when we all get together, the information that's shared, it's always great, because what I like about it is there's stuff some of us are thinking about and some of us aren't, but yet we're so much information shared that a lot of good ideas come out of it, whether it's new products, new concepts, and it really helps our industry. And obviously that's one of the great benefits of extravaganza. Yes, there's the education for the people who are coming to take the classes, and yes, to the people who want to see about the new products. But at the same time, the industry itself grows because of the collaboration that happens with industry giants who are sharing information on an equal level with guys like us who are field and store owners as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is my favorite part of Paintball Extravaganza, because you are bridging relationships and you're creating friendships, and it is about that association. So Pev nailed it. Like, that's the benefit of having Paintball Extravaganza. So hopefully it'll continue. Yeah.
And I remember coming home from Extravaganza with a little notebook full of little tidbits of things that we wanted to try at our field, and it was awesome. Andrew Woodyard in the live chat says, if you need someone to test a prototype gun, I'll definitely volunteer. That's a small group of people, my friend. That's a hard one to get into, and they constantly change you in and out for other people. So I know we were in several different circles, and we tried certain things, and then we got out of those because different people changed, and that's a hard one to be into.
Sorry, Todd. I mean, they removed you from the equation because you kept breaking the damn guns.
That is true. Josh and I have been known to break a couple of prototypes, unfortunately.
Hey, don't lump me in with you. I only broke one.
And it's something else to think about. It's unfortunate that we didn't have an actual live paintball extravaganza this year, because for those of you that don't know, this is the 40th anniversary coming up of the sport of paintball. Originally started as a survival game, and then war games and splat ball, and here we are at paintball. So some 40 years later, here we are talking about, the latest and greatest, but, this is the 40th, birthday of paintball coming up in June 27th, actually.
Well, it won't be 2021, I can't imagine, but we'll celebrate somehow 40th at Paintball Extravaganza next year. We're gonna have we're gonna have another in live person extravaganza. I would say next year, right, Pev?
Yes, and I was thinking that we would celebrate with not 40-ounce Modelos, but 40 Modelos.
Oh, that's
a great idea for celebrations.
That's over the duration. That's over the duration.
Yeah,
the show?
Those live shows we do at Paintball Extravaganza are very difficult to get through, let me tell you.
Like, and shit, where's Greg? Like, and shit, where's Greg?
But that was sort of the beauty of recording it, because you could come back home and that's what happened that evening, right?
Yeah, it's great. You go to the bar. For those of you that have never been to Paintball Extravaganza, I highly recommend you going, because if you're able to get in and be there, in the bar you have every industry innovator sitting around having cocktails, and we've been there all week, so you get bored of talking to the same people all the time. So if you're a stranger and you walk up to someone and say, "Hey, so-and-so, nice to meet you," they're instantly up for a conversation, and next thing you know, you're having conversations with industry innovators who will ask your opinion on things, and you be able to get answer them and feel good about yourselves. It's probably one of the most schmarmy places to go, because there's so many people that you want to meet. You go to World Cup, they're all there too, but they're all busy with teams and everything else that's going on. Paintball Extravaganza is built around that bar, and that's where everybody schmoozes and sits there. So you definitely want to head there.
And it's mind-blowing how many new ideas or deals or relationships blossom right there at that bar, and that's been a pivotal thing that we made sure happened for Extravaganza. Because if you remember, for a lot of the older guys who've been around a while, think about the Amateur Open, for example. You remember the days of that when there used to be the parties there. Yeah. It was a lot of great bonding, and a lot of people being able to reach out and basically connect with each other about a common interest and something that they were commonly excited about. And so the Extravaganza kind of carried that torch from that spot and has been doing that for the last 15 plus years. So it's sad. That's one of the things I missed this last year, even though that not only we were sheltered in and locked away per se, but we missed out the opportunities.
Yeah. And you got to think, remember that time where, Pev and I were always friends, but then there was that night in the bar, I can't remember what Extravaganza it was, where you were going on about how great automags were, and I was talking about autocockers. We had that fist to fight, and then we swore we'd never talk to each other again, and here we are.
We kissed and made up.
We did. I didn't say anything about French, by the way. Why don't we move on, ladies and gentlemen? We have, I want to play a welcome introduction video from Rick Chard, who is one of the main organizers of Paintball Extravaganza. He wasn't able to be on the show tonight, but at least we'll give him his minute to say hello to all of you guys. And then we're going to, maybe we'll go right into the first introduction video by Planet Eclipse. And they want to just tell you who they are, what they're all about, in case you've never had an opportunity to see any of the Planet Eclipse stuff. So guys, have a watch and we'll be right back.
Welcome to tonight's special Paintball Extravaganza Industry Show. I want to thank the Behind the Bunker for producing the show for us in the industry. As most of you know, Paintball Extravaganza is the only wholesale industry show also providing product and business training for stores and fields. The 2020 shows did sneak in under the COVID-19 world shutdown, and I was hoping things would come around for a 2021 event. But as you know, we did not have a show this year. We're starting plans for our return in February of 2022. Watch for details as they are confirmed. We decided to do this special virtual show to help past extravaganza exhibitors provide information to the industry. Many longtime exhibitors have stepped forward, either participating in this show or providing training videos that have been placed on Paintball Extravaganza website for your use. Visit our website at pb-events.com and view your selected training product videos. I want to also thank B and Pev, who are both longtime supporters of Extravaganza, for stepping up and helping out with tonight's show. Believe me, they are much more interesting in listening to than I am. Thanks for joining us tonight and enjoy the show.
All right. We are live, not live, from Planet Eclipse HQ with...
Hi, it's Lads from Planet Eclipse, as you just said. How you doing? Just a quick 2 minutes about Planet Eclipse and what we're about and where we've come from. So it's 2021 now, which is actually our 30th year. Planet was born really from paintball players who wanted the best equipment that they could get, and we had difficulty getting it back in the day. So we started, we a shop that we wanted to get all the best equipment, and then we started making better equipment. And over the years, we have gone from one paintball marker, which was the Ego back in sort of 2005, all the way now to where we have what we consider to be the best field rental market, which is the EMEC. We have a mag-fed marker, the EMF 100, and then we go all the way through from mechanical to electronic, Ether 2s, 170R, Geo4, LV 1.6, CS2 Pro. We go all the way through the different ranges that you'll need, all the way up to the very high professional sort of equipment that you need to go and win tournaments. And we sponsor teams, we win events, and we think we've got an amazing platform. The thing that's we're passionate about is creating a product which works pretty much 100% of the time. We know that we're not perfect and things can go wrong, but we want people to go out and play paintball in their budget price range, and it to be fantastic and work and be reliable. And that's what's the most important thing for us. We know when things are wrong. We put stuff out there with techs all over the world, making sure you've got that level of support. We do everything from markers to apparel, bags, all that sort of equipment. And go to planeteclipse.com and have a look at our website. See you soon.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Planet Eclipse. If you haven't seen any at your local retail store, you should ask for them. Some of the best products in the market. Have a look for them. And they have some new stuff out this year. As I say, normally Extravaganza is one of the venues where people release new items, and these would have been released at Extravaganza had we run it this year. But look at the new EMF 100, the new colorways. So you can see the purple, the blue, and I think our personal favorite is the yellow, taking off the old carnivore black and yellow look.
I like the purple personally. Yeah. That's fun. I don't mind the carnivore.
Me too.
Yeah. Sorry, B, we took a poll and it was 3 against 1 on Monday, so you still don't change it unless Pev says purple too, and then we're gonna have a discussion. Some other things that they have new this year is the original expansion pack, the GX backpack. the GX2 marker pack, as well as the classic kit bag. So if you guys are looking for some gear bags to take to the field, make sure you guys check out Planet Eclipse. Also, I apologize, I'm not prepared. We're going to talk about this more on Behind the Bunker next week when I get a chance to show the guys this, but they also have a new PAL loader system for the field side of things. Imagine a loader, ladies and gentlemen, that clicks to your gun, and when the renters bring back their gun into the whatever area you want them to, you can take off the loader and it holds the paint inside so that you can tech the loader, give it to someone else, a different party, however you want to do it, and the balls stay clean and in their loader so you don't actually have to muss around with that. Neat idea. Brilliant. And it works with their Emacs as well, so you're going to get a good product there.
It's
so
anti-feed gate.
The anti-feed gate. And it does feed fine when it's on a gun.
I think you just call it a gate.
A gate.
It's anti-feed gates. When you take the hopper apart, it's the first thing you do is just as a ref at the field, and you take your hopper off, the balls fall over, then the lid pops open.
Yeah.
I know, ding, ding, ding. So you have your thumb in one hole and your hand on the other, and then they can't fix the gun.
Yeah.
I know, it's whatever that terminology is. So the anti-feed gate.
There we go.
It's like,
George
it's like an anti-dentite.
There you go. So George in the live chat says he likes the PAL. Absolutely. If you're a field owner, it's probably something you should be looking into. Let's move on. I have some more new products I want to show you. What about Exalt? You want to see something new from Exalt? All right, so what do you think of those, ladies and gentlemen? We're watching you guys live in the chat. As a field owner, Pev, you run a field as well. Wouldn't that be great to distinguish which is your rental markers? And I don't know if Exalt's thought about this, but it'd be neat to put your own field logo on there.
Yes.
But what a good way to keep it protected and clean. Those nipple covers are hard to keep on the tanks because they just blow off and people, but that's a great way.
I love the concept. Yeah, first I saw it was this video, so I'm glad to see it. And again, that's why we have Paintball Extravaganza. See new things, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's, I will say, Ed from Exalt, they have a good knack of coming up with something that we just kind of go, that's a good idea. Everything he's ever come out with is not, it's not the marker, it's not the loader, it's not the goggle, it's to make your experience at the field better. Whether it's a microfiber cloth, the squeegees are the best in the industry right now. I would implore anyone to show me a better barrel squeegee than that. What else do you guys like from Exalt?
Thank you, Joe. Anyway, we're moving on.
I said those nipple covers would go well with Gavin's chaps.
Yes.
I could do a full show, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Ed, I think Ed's watching at home tonight. Do not be surprised if he doesn't come out with bright green Exalt chaps next year.
He should.
I'll be the model.
Very good. DLX, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do one more video and then we'll chat a bit more. DLX, we all know Tim Montresor. This year they have designed a new marker for Tim. Why don't we show you a little bit of the teaser and a little bit of information about the marker.
go.
All right. B's actually taking direction from Matt for the first time in a long time. Look at that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the new TM40. I think that looks pretty sexy. And if anyone's ever met Tim, he's probably one of the nicest, most gracious people. And speaking of Paintball Extravaganza, that was always a place I looked forward to going because I knew I would see Tim there. And Tim and I would never call each other by the proper name. I used to call him Tim Montrauser and joke that he was German. But yeah, what a great ambassador. And whenever we walked into the booth, he'd always perk up, and he had his salesman hat on, and then he'd do his spiel, and then it was like, okay, I've done that. Now, how are you guys doing? And he'd have a real conversation with us. But I think we've all met Tim before.
Oh, I met him many moons ago when I was a Smart Parts sponsored player, and I really related to him because of his ethnicity. And so because of his Korean background, although he was not born and raised, but he was born in Korea and raised here in the United States, I would say, 안녕하세요, and he'd be like, konnichiwa, and I'm like, that's not the same language. Because again, he was an adopted child, with very loving parents. God bless him. But yeah, Tim has always been very approachable. He was one of my favorite pros, him and Ryan Moorhead on the All-Americans.
Who, Shaggy?
And and just every time, he always took the time to be super kind, very approachable, always had time for you, never pretended to be on the cell phone, I can't talk, I'm on the phone, when he really wasn't, he never did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just always accessible. And just really, I called him my paintball savior, next to Mike Paxson, of course, but I really thought that because of what he did with the ICC, that he was trying to bring back that nostalgia, bring back the old guys, and have this reunion on a consistent basis, on an annual basis, and he inspired that, so I love what DLX has done, that Lux has made a gun after him, what a legacy to leave behind, and he totally deserves it. That's like probably even better than being in the Paintball Hall of Fame, for the way that they've honored him.
Well, and think of a legacy as well is the Iron City Classic, between him and Mr. Russell, that wouldn't have, look at what that's done to the industry. People talk about how Pump was a big, change in the industry, and then all of a sudden MagFed was a big change. Mechanical is even bigger. People don't realize how many people want mech guns now because of the ICC and all the 10-man and all old school events that are happening right now. What a huge influence in the industry.
Definitely trending.
Yeah. Peb, do you see a lot of people asking for mechanical stuff at your field or seeing a lot of them play?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good crossover, and we're seeing that resurgence for sure. I think the aspect now of trying to make sure that we have all these things, but whether it's mechanical, pump, whether it's the old school paintball games, whether it's the MagFed games, I mean, offering all the different varieties has definitely given us a whole new opportunity as paintball field owners. But at the same time, like guys like me who's been doing this for 35 years, it's exciting to see some of that old school stuff back. And go back to Tim a minute. There's many times Tim would be on when we were doing the Go Sports show, and he would sit on the show and he would talk up there. We'd be talking in between the breaks of the NXL games, and he would talk how much he wanted to get that old school feeling back. Like him and I would chat about the capture the flag days or the even the early mechanical days. And he said he really wanted to push to get that to happen. So it was exciting that when he started lifting that up and getting it onto the Iron City, and then when where it progressed. And so, he contributed to a resurgence, and it's been great, and everyone's been able to benefit from that on the aspect of new excitement, and then it's funny to watch all the young guys who are used to running really fast to little bunkers and shoot guns that shoot 15, 20 balls a second. It's funny to watch them take a mechanical gun and run to these bunkers and figure it behind a tree stump or a hyperball pipe, and like, hey, what am I doing?
What do I do?
Yeah, but then they're like, oh my God, it's so fun. It's like it's such a cool thing that's happened for the industry.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then you got guys who come to Extravaganza who are making parts now for the mechanical business again. Simon and all those other guys who are bringing back the old school equipment, as I call it. The mechanical guns, the cockers that have this modification and this modification. I mean, it's so exciting to see, because if you remember, there was a day where it was always about what could you do to the outer cocker, and it's so great to see that back now.
And then, the whole arms race of how fast can I get this gun to shoot and how many balls a second and, the ramping boards and all this other nonsense. It's nice to see just back to one pull, one shot, yeah. And I get there's an arms race in mechanical too, but regardless, it does level the playing field. And if you guys like mechanical guns, wait till the last video of tonight. You guys will be blown away. Something that you'll be able to do to some of your existing markers to make it mechanical. So when I saw this, it was like, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, should we move on, gentlemen? Yeah. Why don't we? So we're going to introduce you to two companies right now that you may or may not know exist. I'm sure most of you do. If not, here's an introduction to both Field One and Die Precision Paintball.
Where do most people start when they go to play paintball? It's the first field. It's Field 1. And when you end up at the finals on the pro field on Sunday, that's Field 1, and that's where you want to be.
The name is directly related to the genesis of our team and our friendship. And when we were growing up, we played at Mare Island Paintball in Northern California, where Field 1 was one of the marquee fields there, where we all got to play together and hang out and build our friendship and learn how to play the game.
Field 1 Paintball is a partnership filled with people that I would pretty much trust with anything. And it's really a partnership where I feel that the blind faith that we've built in each other is going to be a big factor in always pushing the company forward and believing that we can do it, and taking on the big challenge of starting a company and coming out with something that's going to be, I think, really special.
I really wanted to do something with Ryan, Yosh, Alex, and Oliver. Those guys have put a lot into the sport over the years. They're good friends of mine. It was the way I would want to do it. Taking over that business, running it with my friends. It just felt right.
We've spent more time on Field 1 than anybody. We're there when the sun goes down on Sunday, battling for first place on Field 1. And that's something that we hold dear to us, and also we use that name as inspiration to succeed. And it's not easy, but the idea is to get to Field 1, and we're going to do our best to live up to the name that we've given it.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So if you've been living under a rock, there's Die Precision. Also, Field 1. Now, that's a new company that started a couple years ago. Paintball Extravaganza last year, I think, was the first time, Mike, that I saw Field 1 there. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. They were around previous before that, but they, remember, it's the Dynasty guys, and those guys are perfectionists about a lot of things they do. And
sorry, what team?
The Dynasty boys.
Dynasty? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to
so,
look it up.
they go back a long way, and they got a long history as a family, per se, and so, when they do things, they've always done things a certain way. They like to be sure and comfortable with what they're doing. So, they came back and they showed up in Memphis, and they're ready to do their thing. And, their products, that means they were comfortable with where they're going with their products, because everybody knows Dynasty. Their name's on a lot of things. Yeah. They have a lot of sponsors, but they're very particular about their products. So the fact that they were willing to not be like some manufacturers who just jump right out there with the product and not really have a lot of testing and feel comfortable with it. They just, because they're already bringing them in on boatloads and container loads, and that's different.
And they can't just step out on the field with with any order marker. I mean, these guys have won more championships than anyone else in the history of paintball, at the pro level. I mean, they just can't come out with, I'm not going to insult a gun manufacturer and throw out a crappy marker, but just a piece of crap. They have to have something decent. So good on them. Good on them. But yeah, it was nice to see Field
so
1.
Good too. Like Alex and Oliver, they just sent us these headbands, and that's another company, the Field 1. They're just amazing. Those kids, I've seen them grow up since the JTUSA days back in 2002. Yeah. And they were called the Dynasty Kids, right? Yeah. But now look at them in their 30s, and they're still bringing that goodness and positivity to paintball. They're still very inspirational.
Well, exactly. And you know what? We're not going to be able to have representation of all the vendors that would normally be at Extravaganza. I mean, when we walk in that room, there's tons of different vendors, and we don't have time to spotlight them all tonight, and not all of them can we, we'll have new products. With the pandemic afoot right now, let's be honest, research and development is not on the priority list for most people, and just keeping the supply up for the demand right now is hard enough. So
yeah, and I mean, we need 60 hours because there's 60 plus vendors that show up to Extravaganza every year, but a lot of these guys right now, they're trying to handle their supply issues because a lot of things got shut down, manufacturing. I mean, you look at the waiting list on some of these products. I mean, Planet Eclipse, I mean, they weren't producing for a little while because they couldn't. And then now there's a waiting list to get stuff. I mean, I'm calling probably once a week to say, hey, I'm on back order for some more field guns from Emex and stuff. And I've been on that back ordered for many, many months. And they're like, they're coming. And everyone's trying to fill a channel again. And the good thing is people want the channel filled. So that's the positive side of this. And which is probably the one positive thing out of COVID is because, we got to play paintball in a people saw it as socially distant activity in sport. And now I've seen a new resurgence of people who are out wanting to play and buy equipment, not just rent, but buy again. Yeah. So that's why I'm even more excited about Extravaganza, because I'm ready to go to the next event, see new products where manufacturers have had this extra downtime to think about carefully what they want to do and get some ideas, and then at the same time work on their supply issues. And I think we're poised to really see a great event next year.
Well, here's a question I want to pose to everyone in the panel here. So when you walk into Paintball Extravaganza, aside from knowing that X guy is going to have this new product and all that sort of stuff, who's the vendors that you're most looking forward to going to see, whether it's the product or whether it's the person you want to talk to? But why don't we start with Joe? Joe, who's the first person you want to go to when you walk into Paintball Extravaganza?
You know what? I like to say hi to Chris from EG. I think that's an important one. He's always got some neat products, that smoke and paint grenades, and you find out what may or may not make its way to Canada. They've come out with a great line of, apparel, hats, t-shirts, gloves, all kinds of stuff. They've always got some pretty great stuff, innovative stuff. You can we do our online booking software with a company called Vantora, and Larry's always there. So if you have any questions
and he's not the guy you'd rush to go see because he doesn't have the the latest software upgrade isn't going to get people running, but his product's good.
His product's good, and I don't know, and it's nice to see your staples like what is Tippmann have anything sort of neat, or if you have a question about some products, and then there's so many other vendors there, and you've got some offshore guys that come and try to peddle some of their wares. And last year we had the guy that had the anti-fog stuff that he had little microfiber cloths. That was good. I'm still using it. It works fine.
Now, what about I think, Josh, I can probably predict who yours is, but I'm not going to say it. Who's your favorite vendors? And it might not have been last year because I know one of them that maybe your favorite wasn't there, but who are some of the ones that you like to see?
Like Joe said, I always like going to see Chris at EG.
Yeah, well, he's handsome, right?
Conversation. Yeah. And of course Simon.
Yeah.
Conceptions Designs. I geek out over the whole design and process and manufacturing that he's got going on. That the quality of his products show through. and he gets just as geeked out and as excited as I do.
Well, like we were talking about Field 1, Simon cares. He's only doing it because he wants a better product, right?
Yes.
He's meticulous too. I mean, you know him. He's such a perfectionist in the way his mind works on the product, and so it's the little things that he does.
Yeah. I think Josh, you might be. Can I speak for you for a second? What about Eric Engler Custom?
Oh, if Eric's there, he usually brings. I think it's a Phenom or a 98. He put into an MG 34 or 32. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's always fun going to see what kind of creations he's made.
Yeah. He's got all kinds of shenanigans afoot.
Yes.
Yeah. Gavin, what about you?
So I was really excited about Planet Eclipse and the reception they gave to us. So, Jacko, Fish, Cindy were fantastic for us. But that was quite an elaborate setup they had. Field 1 was great for us as well. But it was like the smaller vendors as well that I really, really enjoyed that I would never heard of. So that was sort of the magic of Extravaganza, introducing you to new products and new manufacturers. Yeah. So for me, it was the Joe mentioned it, the anti-fog guys, right? Or Jelly Ball as well, right? There's a lot of new things that I wouldn't have anticipated being there. Yeah. But that's sort of the magic of Extravaganza. You have the big and the grand, and you have the smaller ones that are like, hey, that's a really neat idea. Yeah. So it's something for everybody really to be there, and it's so important for the entire industry to not only continue to support that, but make sure you're there. Make sure you're on the floor. Make sure you're shaking hands. Well, if we could shake hands again. But yeah, just really connecting with other manufacturers, other resources, how you can grow your business with the help of.
And I see Roger Weber from Team Tags in the chat, and I'm going to give him a heads up. Team Tags, if you guys are looking for armbands for your big games or your fields, you want to check him out. But he's the guy who, he can't quite have a booth, but he's there to support. He's out there doing security for the Extravaganza. He's there doing whatever to help out. It's nice to see that. It's just another passionate fellow in the industry. But what about you, Pev? Who's your... I should almost ask who's your worst vendor to deal with, but let's not say that. Who's your... what do you look forward to? Maybe not a vendor, but who do you look forward to seeing?
That doesn't exist.
At the end of the day, I mean, Rick and I spend a lot of time either traveling or trying to go to other outside industry shows to recruit vendors to come because, something that we see as a benefit, like myself as a field owner, who would I like to see there that I could benefit from? Whether it's the guy that made something for, food and concessions, whether it's a guy who made something for software, whether it's a guy who made, or a girl, it can be either one, but someone who's producing something that might be a new tool for me. But at the end of the day, also, you're right, like Planet Eclipse. You show up to Planet Eclipse, they have a professional booth. It's like you're going to a real trade show, and that is what's powerful about that, because you go there and they treat it like, hey, I'm here for you, the field and store owner, and I want to put on my best show. Dye does the same thing. And then last year in Memphis, the last show in Memphis, look who came that hasn't been in a while. HK, they came as well, and they set up a nice booth and they interacted, and they really wanted to kind of try to let everybody know that they want to participate again as well. So you take all of them, and then you take all the small ones that are there. And to me, it's just the unity of it, and then the fact that all these guys get together, and the fact that we can learn so much from them and have so many opportunities of new products that might come across our way. And the way I see it at the end of the day is the more the vendors can hear from us and field and store owners that we're hungry for stuff, the more opportunities for them to make stuff so that we have more stuff to sell.
Yeah, absolutely. I root for the little guy. I like seeing the little vendors. I know it's not the most exciting, but it's that one vendor that has that one niche product that you kind of go, what a great idea. Joe and I talk about this all the time, but World Cup years ago when it was still at Disney, there was a whole row, maybe of 20 people that were just 10 by 10 tents down one row, and we called it kind of the pathetic row, because no one was checking them out. But they're the ones that had all the little niche things that now they sell. The bigger companies have absorbed all those products and are selling their own. But those are the guys that kind of came out with it. Yeah. B, what about you? Is there anyone that vendor or customer or whatever that you look forward to seeing other than Behind the Bunker? Because I know when we walk in that door.
You're honestly, that's my top priority. I mean, even before working with Rick and Pev with Paintball
Well, let's be honest, the door
I
opens
just
and-
love the behind the bunker show. That's all I want to do.
Well, the door opens and Josh and Gavin, Matt and I, Joe, we all walk in and like it's like the red carpet. You know, all these flashes are going off. Everything gets quiet all of a sudden. Yeah, no.
I just hate having to wait till Wednesday because I'm already there since Monday. And I'm like, man, I don't get to sit and drink my Modelo with the guys live streaming until Wednesday? Really? Why are we not doing this every night?
There was a couple of years where we flew in on Monday and did a Monday night show from like the lobby, and it was a pre-show, and we do our Monday night show there. That was fun.
So fun.
Yeah, just unfortunately our hourly rate has gone up, so it's hard for us to do more than just one show. So
yeah, my talk time keeps shrinking up. You all keep giving me less and less talk time. I'm thinking, really? This is not fair.
Matt, can we cut his mic? So, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we move on? We got a couple more videos to get to, and we'll keep chatting.
I miss Ray from Ninja.
Wait, I didn't get to tell me. I went and grabbed this because this is Z Clear.
Yes,
and
that's what
my
we're talking
favorite
about,
thing
yeah.
because I already know pretty much all the manufacturers. It's like a reunion every time I go to the Paintball Extravaganza.
Yeah.
But this guy was Z Clear. It was a great opportunity for what we do as Destiny as an organization, and you know we let the news out about this, and I still use this for my real estate stuff when I have to wear my glasses. You know,
And you're not pronouncing
I have
it
to wear
right.
my COVID mask and
You,
then my glasses.
you have to
get
use
all
a
clogged up.
German or Austrian accent and call it Ziegler.
Thank you, Ziegler. Dankeschön. Dankeschön, Ziegler.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's take you over to Core, or as we like to call them, GI Sports. That's how you guys know it. Nick Sloyak wants to show us some of their goggles and colorways for this year. So why don't we check that out, guys? And we'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, guys? Nick Slowick here from Core Outdoors, here to talk to you about a bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 new colored EVS goggles that are now in stock. Pretty excited about these because we've been waiting on them for quite some time. But there's obviously been some delays in 2020. But now that we're in 2021, the new colors are here and they look sweet. Baseline of black right in front of you. We've got gold, white, a lime, teal, orange, red, olive, and blue. What other colors do you need? You want to accessorize. And then look at this, the all white. Just looking mean with that chrome lens in there. Like all these colors are in stock. Now, the one nice thing, or how about this? A list of very nice things about the EVS goggle system is that you do not need a tool to change lenses. It's quick, it's simple, distortion free, 270 degrees of vision. You're gonna see it all when you put these on your face. ASTM approved goggles, dual pane lenses. They're thermal. They prevent the sun from getting in your eyes. You got UAV blockers in there. Super flexible. These things bend, will fit on your face. Really nice chin strap. Gotta protect the beard if I ever put one of these on. The chin strap in EVS does it. Nice silicone back strap, flexible. Love these things, they move. And then really nice earpieces here. Extra protection. You can hear really well out of these things. You can breathe really well out of these things. Guys, 9 new colored EVS Empire goggles. In stock now. Head to your local retailers or favorite online location to pick these up. Thank you guys. Stay tuned for more from Core Outdoors, GI Empire, JT, and Tippmann. I'll see you guys next time.
So there he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we know them as Core as an industry, but as a player, you'll know them as GI Sports, ladies and gentlemen. They have the Empire brand. They have
JT Tippmann.
JT Tippmann, you're right. One of the bigger manufacturers of paintballs as well. You guys, if you've ever been to a big game or a tournament, you've most likely shot their paintballs. And that's GI Sports, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to know more about them, just do a Google search for GI Sports or check them out on Facebook. All their products are up there. Chances are if you walk into any paintball field, you will see at least one product or paintball from them on just about every person out there. Would that be too bold to say that?
No.
They carry so many products. I would say that the average person would probably own at least one thing from GI.
Probably.
I think that's safe to say. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So, Gino?
What's that?
Unless you're Gino.
I'm sure he may have something in the basement or so.
Good point, Kev.
I think he owns everything.
Valken is usually there, and they have a pretty awesome display with all whether their products bridge the gap from paintball to airsoft as well.
Yeah,
and Gino's one of the manufacturers that listens to what the field and store owners are saying. I mean, every time he goes to those industry luncheons, he listens to the feedback at the state of industry, and he waits to hear what people have to say, and then he reacts to it by providing the products when no one else is doing it. I mean, I think between him and Jacko, thank God they come to the industry luncheon, because every time a new product is thought about from the field owner's standpoint or a store owner saying we need this, by the next year they come out with it. So you got to credit those guys, Ray from Ninja, Chris from Dye, those guys. Everyone's thinking. So.
And you know what? We talk about that's the third time that Ray from Ninja's come up. Unfortunately, Ray was with Ninja this year. I think he took a bit of a short holiday, but he's back with Ninja again. And it's funny that you say that, because the next video, I have Ray, and he's going to take us a tour of the Ninja plant and warehouse. And I find this very interesting. So if you've ever wondered what happens at Ninja with the lights on and not wearing black, here you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Go. Hi guys, Ray with Ninja Paintball here. Want to give you a quick tour. During COVID, you can't come visit us, but we want you to see what we do here. Got a cabinet here, shows everything we've made over the past 30 years. We made things you can't even believe. Got the office department over here, sales, tech. You make a phone call, real person's going to answer the phone, help you out regardless. We're here for you guys. We're going to head into the reg room right now. Here's where we make every regulator by hand. That means we assemble it, we test it, we build it, all right here in this room. If we pass by, you're going to look on over here to my left, we're going to have our tapers. That's where we tape every fitting. If you got thousands of fittings, you need a machine to help you out. Testing station, we dunk every reg, check for leaks, we check the pressure. All done in-house. Assembly tables, we're actually making some pro regs right here. Finishing table, we got a couple more assembly tables, so whether you need a Ninja, Ultralight, Pro SLP, Pro SHP, an X-Reg, custom high output PCP reg. We make it here in America in this room. We're going to head on into the laser room now. This is where we mark all our regs so we can date it. We know exactly when we made it. We can custom laser it with whatever design we want, any logo we want. All done right in here. We actually have 2 machines now because we can't keep up before, so we have to buy another one. Let's head on into the coil hose assembly department. So other remote coils come in from overseas, we actually make it here in-house. We actually put the fittings on, we crimp it, we tape it, we assemble it, the UFA, the slide check, all done in-house. Microbore straight remotes, standard coil remotes, we do that here. We actually have our own crimping machines. We have a whole department here ready to go and get it done. Up top, hard to see, we have 19 4,500 pound press air tanks powered by a 6,000 PSI air compressor. We have plenty of air to test all our products to make sure they're right for you. We're going to keep on heading back on over here. We have in the corner, we have our tech department. So when you got a problem, head on in here. We're going to check it out. We're going to fix it. Try to get it back to you as soon as possible. Back to my left, we got a mounting department. It's where we mount every single regulator onto a tank. We do it the right way, not over torqued, not over Loctite. To my right, hydro testing. Been doing it for over 15 years. We're the last ones left, guys, in paintball hydro testing. We're not a scuba shop, we're a paintball shop. We got our shipping department. Pretty standard, but everything's going to go out the door here. Our warehouse, you notice our warehouse when you stand to the left, it's going to be awful small. That's because we rotate our stock, we keep it in America. I don't need a huge amount. Get them out to the dealers. Let's head back to where the magic happens, guys. The machine shop. This is where we're going to machine all our items, our bonnets, our bodies, our pistons, all those material items get done right here, state-of-the-art CNC machines. We keep that control so we know our quality control is high, we know our parts are done right, we know you get the right product to do the right job so you can win on the field, guys. Remember, play more paintball, check us out at your local dealer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. And look inside of a Ninja power plant there. I have to say, I will say, we were talking about this while the video was playing here. We all agree it's the neatest, cleanest, colorfulest plant ever. Well done. And we like how there's no clutter. It looks like anyone who put a drink on a table used a coaster. Like, it was nice. Very well done. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Folks are always on the left. It was well done.
So where do we have? We have one more video left before the end of the show, but before we get there, let's talk about Extravaganza next year. We don't know what's happening in the world. Who knows? Let's be optimistic. Pev, what can we expect for Paintball Extravaganza next year? I know we're probably looking towards another event. Are you?
Yeah, we're definitely going to have another event. Right now, a lot of things are dictating the date. Just because obviously the pandemic crap. So, but at the end of the day, there will be another event. That's why we're here tonight to just kind of, kiss babies and shake hands, right? So I mean, but really, and the plan was to go to Dallas to try to go a little bit more middle United States. But even what we saw from Memphis, people realized that we lost a lot of the drive-in traffic. People we lost the Northeast, and so we missed out on some people who were bringing their staff to get trained and spreading that knowledge with more people. So when that happened, I think the industry kind of looked at it and said, the East Coast is probably the better place to go. So I think there's a good chance that we might be back on the East Coast at the next event. Doesn't mean it's for sure going to happen that way. I'm just saying the feedback to try to get everybody back into the event again with more warm bodies and more education and more people getting updated on the products and learning the technology. I wouldn't be surprised if we try to migrate a little bit more towards the East Coast again. But that's for Rick Chard to make that final decision. He's the guy that created the event. He's the guy that had the idea and the dream to make it what it is. People like myself and B, we're there to support him and do what we can to, make it as successful as he wants it to be and kind of be, part of his brainstorming
his vision.
team.
Yeah, he's got such a good vision on what it definitely needs. And he's got an outside the box thinking because he isn't from paintball. He actually, is from that sort of industry where you have these extravaganzas, and he chose our industry. And so together since 2005, Mike Paxson was working with him, and we were trying to share ideas. And then I got pregnant and I had some other personal things happen. So we took a step away for a couple of years, and then Pev stepped in, and I was so thankful to see that he supported this, because we believe that this is going to be such a powerful way for the economy of paintball to just continue to grow and grow and grow. The idea of collaboration and bridging and associations, because some of the biggest complaints that we have is, why don't we have a paintball manufacturing association? But I feel like the Paintball Extravaganza kind of is that, and they continually can encourage that with Pev's and Rick's leadership. So that's why I feel Paintball Extravaganza should be here from here until the end of time, really.
Well, for sure. And when you have behind the bunker, like the power media house that we are, backing you guys and there every year to help support, I mean, how can you go? I can't even get through that sentence.
All right. But I'm pretty excited about next year, and I already have my media pass. So I'm all set. Yeah, I'm all set for next year. I've got the VIP pass to go in, so we just got to firm up some dates.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're working on
we
flights
make sure
right
there's
now.
plenty of nice restaurants around, because I know that's one thing we like to miss about the Extravaganza.
Well,
the little sneak out for a couple little restaurants.
Okay,
right?
I'm not going to lie to you, and Josh and Joe will test to this. We are happy that it could go back to the East Coast because we miss Jackson's.
Yeah.
And we missed some of our regular haunts. Don't get me wrong. Memphis was great. The fried chicken was fantastic. But you can't put that over a ribeye steak with some deviled eggs. I'm sorry.
You might try it. But yeah, I think there's a lot of positives to coming back to the East Coast.
What's the population, Pav? You said the population, what is it, 59 or 58% of the U.S. population is within 750 miles?
It's 60% of the United States population. So it's like 57.8, but let's just round up since I like rounding up. But yeah, so 55 to 60% of the U.S. population is within a 750-mile radius of Washington, D.C.
But
so
60% of people can make up statistics, and even 10% of people know that.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
I got that, Todd. Good one.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, we pull the biggest amount of people from the densest area of paintball fields and stores. When you think everything from Boston to Chicago to St. Louis down to Florida and Georgia, in 750 miles is the right distance that people are willing to drive. You know, it's that's a day's drive without being, too long. So so that's the only reason why. It doesn't mean we want to separate ourselves from the West Coast or Dallas or Texas or anything else. It just because we're trying to create this resurgence again, because we had the break, we've got to get everybody back into the mix again and get the maximize the number of people who didn't get trained in the last two years that now can get trained. And the best way to do it is make it so that field and store owners are willing to drive and bring along their staff.
Yeah. And I don't care where it is. I can't speak for everyone in the panel, but I will definitely be there.
Me too.
Josh has driven to the event before. He had family and did a bit of a vacation down there. Would you say, Josh, it was worth the drive?
No, it wasn't so bad. But if you think about it this way, it's close enough that you can drive to it, and it takes the same amount of time to drive there as it does to fly there.
Yeah,
precisely.
Because by the time you're at the airport.
I thought you were saying it takes the same amount of time to drive there and drive back.
No, by the time you get up and drive, by the time you get up, drive to the airport 3 hours ahead of your flight, wait for your flight, fly there, get there, land. You can almost drive there.
Yeah,
agree.
Yeah,
it was about the same amount of time.
And not only that, let's say it goes back to the East Coast. If it goes back to where it was before, we would always spend an extra day, drive into Washington, go to Smithsonian. There's so many other things you can do, and you're already there anyways. What's one extra day? And think of all the culture and all the other great stuff you get to do. So looking forward to it. Absolutely looking forward to it. We're going to segue into the next video, which is our last video of the night. We'll come back and have continued conversation. But for all of you guys that want to have another option for mechanical marker, but you already own a speedball gun, check this out. All right there, ladies and gentlemen, I promised you guys if you have a Lux and you want to make it mechanical, what do you think of that? Wouldn't that be a great addition to playing the ICC or any sort of mechanical division?
Very cool.
Love it.
Yeah. So what do you guys predict this year? You think this year will be a still like last year, even with the pandemic, paintball stood out as a sort of a social distancing friendly still sort of sport.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to happen and continue to carry on this year?
Yes. I do. I believe that even the activity of exercise, and I believe they consider what paintball is, that activity. So, for example, like here locally, we have a little roller skating thing we do, and nobody wears COVID masks because you're in motion, you're exercising. So for paintball's sake, I think that it's going to be okay. And progressively, I think we have to believe that it's going to get better. So I say, yes, it's going to get better.
So last year for us in Ontario, Canada, a lot of people gravitated towards paintball because it was one of the only activities that was open. So people that never had considered it before hopped into it and really enjoyed it. So I think once, at least in our area, when things open up again, we're going to see those people return, and we're going to see more people embracing the sport. So I do see an uptick this year once we're able to operate and get open again. So I'm pretty optimistic about that this season.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to having maybe some paintball fun with my friend Josh Subizabrickus. I haven't had a chance to play with you for an awful long time. Maybe it'll happen this year.
Yeah, it's been quite some time. We played quite a lot together at Canadian Carnage games.
We haven't
done it in a while.
We have. And then you insulted my paintball marker, and I stopped hanging with you. So yeah.
Well,
maybe this year.
You can only steal so many 9 volts before you don't want to play with
me. Andrew Woodyard said it's one of the few sports we are authorized to play in the Navy.
That's interesting. I just like that. That's cool.
Very interesting. What, Andrew? Could you explain that a little more, or if you have some sort of literature and you could cut and paste it, that would be a great speaking point. If you could, I'm sure you have some written documentation on official letterhead that says this is one of the few gigs you guys can do. So if you could post that up or share a link, that'd be amazing.
Joe,
yeah, do it, Andrew.
A little too hard.
Sorry, what?
You're fishing just a little too hard.
Wow. I want to see. I want to see that stuff for a reason, Josh.
It's hard because we have so many school groups that want to play, and then you have one board says, well, it's not an appropriate thing, and then you have another board that says, no, it's great teamwork and it's great this and great that, and the teachers love it. It'd be nice to be able to have more arguments for it, right?
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
Pev, did you guys you have a paintball field if people don't know as well? How did your paintball field survive or react this year? Did you guys come out okay?
I mean, we were shut down for a while. Virginia was one of those states that had its closed down, so we lost about 4 months. We even tried to prove that we were socially distant, but it just in general we were it was we hit that big bump in the road, but I mean, and then it took us slow to get it to come back out because everyone was so fearful of coming out, especially the birthday parties, moms not wanting to bring their kids out for a party where they have to be responsible for other kids and take a chance. So, but then in the fall, things started to boost up, and we started to see the benefits like they were already seen in California before, because California hadn't locked down yet. So California really was seeing a nice big increase of 10-15% over what they normally do, because people were just doing things because everything else, the indoor stuff, people were staying away from.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the day, and I hate to say this, but it's to me. It's the acronym, it's they put a bunch of letters together that's going to make something happen. There was the ESPN, that gave us the boost. There was the MPPL that gave us the boost. There was the PSP where we got the boost. And now it's the COVID. I mean, it's, we're going to get the boost from it. We know COVID was bad, but at the same time, for paintball, because we are technically socially distant, we're shooting people at, distance apart. I think... Yeah. A lot of people are now seeing the benefit from that, and I think that's going to next surge, because what I see now is the amount of equipment people are buying now of their own instead of renting. Because remember, we had that big drop in the bell curve, and so next people weren't buying; they were just renting. But now we saw there's a big rush in the last several months where people are coming out and playing who've never played before or whatever, and now they're buying. Now I'm hoping that buying is going to make them want to continue to keep playing a little bit longer.
And it's funny you say that, because at our field, Joe and I have noticed that we get a lot of families and almost first-timers playing with us because there's nothing else to do. So they hear about paintball and they go, well, let's go do that. And then they have a blast. And then you start seeing some of them coming back and back again. And that was a good, boost to our business anyways.
Well, a lot of the traditional or the new traditional activities have been shut down. Laser Quest North America has gone out of business. I think you'll see the demise of trampoline parks. Escape rooms are having problems. Axe throwing places are having problems. I think, paintball is one of the few things that you can do, safely and be socially distant. So I think, you'll continue to see the resurgence of paintball. We'll be back to the 1990s where you had paintball and bowling as cool things to do. And, you know, if we could somehow kill the internet and get rid of Xbox, then you'd have people playing paintball hours a day.
Yeah. And you know what also benefited was for us, what we saw was allowing people to, we promoted how people aren't touching each other or getting in each other's face like a soccer game, or they're spitting on each other, or even sharing the equipment, you know, like the trampoline house and everything else. It's like our bowling alley or different places. So, you know, and for us, we saw the biggest benefit was when we showed people how much equipment we had, that we were explaining to people and explaining to moms and everyone else that the equipment we use on Saturday doesn't get used again until next Saturday, because the equipment we use on Sunday is a totally different set of equipment than we used on Saturday, because we had so much. That's how we did our production. So what we did was we'd stage everything during the week. It'd be all set up and already prepared in these racks, ready to go out. And so they would go out on Saturday and they'd come back in and head back into the warehouse for cleaning during the week. And then the Sunday would go out. And when we finally put that out there for people to see, it gave them a comfort level, because they realized that, hey, I'm going to rent equipment, but that equipment hasn't been used for 7 days by the time the next time that comes. And obviously the sanitization, everything we do already to sanitize. But I mean, you know, we went those extra steps to show that, and we realized that's what helped us. When people saw that, we saw the families feel more comfortable to come to us. So so
that also helped encourage people this year to purchase new goggles. You know, we did have a lot of goggles for purchase, and there was people that not necessarily were super concerned, but you posed the question to them, and they're like, you know what, I would like my own pair of goggles. You know, especially halfway through the day when they already realized they're having fun, they wanted their own goggle so that they knew they were coming back. You know, field memberships for us were up as well.
Oh yeah, us too. Yeah, we sold a lot of VIP passes. Yeah, because they bought you because they're annual passes, and it's just, I mean, and they're still buying them now. I mean, because we only sold them at the beginning of the year, but people are like, look, I still think it's better for me to go ahead and buy your annual pass that expires on December 31st now in April, because I'm going to use it that much.
Yeah.
That's optimism. That's great. I like to hear that.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we are just floating past our hour mark, so we should probably start winding it down here. Matt's giving me the signal, so we're gonna start closing it up here. B, thank you so much for being on the program tonight, and I missed chatting with you, miss having you on the show. We're definitely gonna have to have you and Mike back on the show. Separate though, but at some point.
Oh man!
But we're better together.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
No, but I like having we like having Mike on separately because he tells us dish about you.
He'll tell it in front of me. He don't care.
Yeah. And I can't help it that Mike Paxton's texting me what to say during the show.
Oh, snap. Michael, stop. Oh, my Lanta. Well, I love you guys. I just enjoy your show. I love the knowledge that you guys bring and the inspiration. And I just love being a part of your team. I love Pev and everything he's all about. I love his family. I love Rick Chard and the opportunity to have been helping him, you know, since he began this. So it's been an amazing journey, and I love my paintball family. So I'll be here until the end, y'all. Thank you so much.
Y'all.
Yeah, and thanks, Pev, for being on the program. We need to get you back on the show and talk a little more about some of your father's exploits and some of your family life growing up.
Well, I've got some new ones that have been recently released now that's considered clear now.
CB, that's how Mike gets back on the show. You don't give us any segues or trailers.
Something. They're making fun of you, Mike.
Gavin is, not me.
Okay.
No, I want to see his sushi, so I'm not making fun of him.
Yeah, show us the sushi, Mike, quick, before the show is over.
All right. Gavin, thank you for being on the program tonight.
Always great to be here, and so wonderful to... oh, perfect.
Gavin,
I'm looking.
Okay, wasn't that plate much more full last time you showed it?
Thanks, Max. It's great to be here. Wonderful to connect with B and Pev again, and excited about Extravaganza 2022. So it's going to be a fantastic show. Make sure if you're a field owner or employee of a field, make sure you're there so you can connect with everybody in the industry and grow the sport. Thanks, Todd, for having me. Thanks for everybody joining. Make sure you hit like and share on the way out.
Yeah. And Josh Subi-Zabrickus, are you looking forward to the next Extravaganza when we're actually boots on the ground?
I most certainly am.
Then we can give Navy foot signals.
Yes, anything to get out of the basement Zoom studio would be wonderful.
Don't say basement. You had a Zoom studio. It sounded cool for a second.
No, I think basement's cooler.
It's actually quite cold down here. I'm wearing a sweater for a specific reason.
Good for you.
I went out.
And Joe Kimson, this is your second podcast for the night. Thank you for joining us.
I didn't do the one tonight earlier because they wanted me longer than the 30 minutes I would have been available for. But anyway, guys and girls, thanks for tuning in to Behind the Bunker tonight. This is round 2 of Behind the Bunker, special Paintball Extravaganza 2021 version. And I did the show tonight, but I have missed the first 15 minutes of SEAL Team. So I will wait and watch it and rewind.
There we go. Thank you guys for listening. My name has been Todd Ansich. Thank you for joining us. This is a weekly paintball show that we normally do on Monday nights. You can download it as a podcast. Tonight's episode will also go up as a podcast anywhere you get your favorite podcast from: iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, wherever. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Monday night.